Today on Crisis in the Toyverse, we're taking a look at the Walmart exclusive DC Multiverse Build a Motherbox Justice League Batman figure. Now I'll be talking about the Build a Motherbox parts a little later on in the video, but first I want to talk about this awesome repaint of a Batman figure that Mattel has crafted so awesomely for $18.99 plus shipping. Remember, keep that $18.99 plus shipping in the back of your minds. Now, there's a lot to dive in here. There's a lot to talk about. So let's go ahead and start first with the head sculpt. Bringing Batfleck in here for a moment. What I appreciate and truly love about Mattel is the fact that they did not craft a very good likeness of Ben Affleck with current allegations running wild. It's nice to see Mattel doesn't want to be the person or the company, if you will, to trigger anybody in the toy aisle. So Mattel has instead put a half-hearted effort in to give us a Batman head sculpt. And for that, I am eternally grateful. Thank you, Mattel team. Now, in terms of the upper body, it's actually crafted a little too well, if you ask me. The Bat logo here on the chest is etched and sketched and sculpted very, very nicely. And for that, I feel like the Mattel team has gone above and beyond in crafting a very cool Bat logo on a action figure body. Now, the abs look okay. The shoulders stand out. They got some detail. I like the semi-hard stepping that they did to get that detail in there. It shows that they sort of cared enough so it would stand out, but not enough to really distinguish it. And when a toy company does things like that, I can really appreciate that, because it's sort of like how I do things in my life. I kind of do halfway, but not quite all the way, just enough to pass by. So they are on the same wavelength as me. I am very disappointed that they sculpted and painted this utility belt very, very well. Sending mixed messages here. I don't know what to really say about that. Same thing with the gauntlets. Unique design. It is what it is. As we go down to the lower body, as you can see, I have some warpage on one of my legs. You know, that's the problem with big corporations. They spend all your time taking your money and trying to get you to buy their thing. They don't have time to look for the quality control issues. So, I'm sorry, Mattel, but just know that even though you didn't look and notice it, I did. And I'm not holding it against you at all. I actually prefer when my action figures have warped legs and stuff. It actually makes the posing experience that much more frustrating. And a frustrated toy collector is a happy toy collector. So there is that. Now, I do want to talk about the cape here for a moment. In an age where plastic capes are becoming a thing of the past, and many toy companies from Mezco to Hot Toys, Mafex, DC Collectibles, even SH Figure Arts are trying to up the ante on the capes, Mattel here has applied the KISS rule. Keep it simple, stupid. You will not find any polyfiber filaments sewn throughout this cape. Nope, we got a straight throwback to the vintage Kenner Batman line here. It looks really nice on this side, and it's flat on that side. It's kind of bunched up and rolled up. Yeah, I mean, that's true to life. When Batman's wearing his cape, he's going to run into some problems where it's probably going to get tangled and look half-heartedly. So I appreciate Mattel's attention to accuracy and detail. So in terms of articulation, another thing that Mattel has really knocked out here is the fact that it has simple articulation. Friends, in a market that is oversaturated with double-jointed knees and elbows and dynamic ab crunches and ball joints at the legs and ankle pivots and rockers, Mattel has instead decided to once again simplify things for us. And I appreciate that, because when you have 10 million poses to work with, it's hard to just find just one that works for you. With this approach, Mattel has simply given us maybe 5, 6, maybe even 7, quite possibly 8 poses, and that's a lot easier for me to deal with. I don't need to be stressed out by long, thought-out, articulated poses. No, I like my stuff simple. Mattel has me in mind, so thank you, Mattel team. Like I said, it's very simple. Boom. And it doesn't even bend that well. But that's okay, because once again, we don't need to try to make a quality action figure that has all the bells and whistles. We just need to make an action figure that will satisfy our desires to take other people's money. So, good job, Mattel. So, that's basically covering articulation. There's thousands of videos out there, guys, breaking down this figure. This one's just here to inform you of all the great work that Mattel does. However, there is a other side to this coin, so I'm going to set him aside for a moment, and we're going to talk about those Build-A-Motherbox pieces. Alright, here are our mother boxes. We have 3 halves here. The other halves come with this cyborg figure, which I will be talking about a little bit later here. But I want to give a very special shout out to everyone at Mattel for taking the extra time. I'm sure you got to miss a whole bunch of kids' football games, baseball games. You didn't get to have a romantic evening with your wife or husband. I see that all the money and energy went into these mother boxes, and for that I am eternally grateful, because for $18.99 plus shipping, I'm happy to report to you that it's well worth it for these 3 small pieces of plastic. So there you have that part. Let's do the size comparison and call it a day. Alright guys, here's the size comparison. On one side, we have the Mezco Dawn of Justice Batman, and on the other side, we have the DC Multiverse Walmart exclusive Cyborg. As you can see, the figure to the left of your screen is just overly done. I mean, the attention to detail and all the bells and whistles on that thing, it just doesn't hold a candle to this keep it simple, stupid rule that Mattel passes on to us. And obviously you got the cyborg figure there, which looks very adequate, if you will, next to the Batman in the middle. So let's just take this away, because that's really not fair to this guy to be compared on the level of the Mattel Justice League Batman. Let's just pull Cyborg out of the limelight. And here are my final thoughts. So you have this figure that's very simply done enough in a way to take your money. So when purchasing this figure, just keep that in mind. I personally think that this figure deserves a good home. Some of the best places I recommend are in a landfill or at a local recycling plant, because you help out the Mother Earth, if you will. So if possible, you can always try to lose it, break it, destroy it, burn it, whatever tickles your pickle. But it's definitely a big pass, unfortunately. I want to keep it. It's just way too simple for me. Oh, and before I forget, this guy has a trigger hand, and Mattel did not include an accessory, which is totally cool, because I would have hated to lose his grappling gun or something like that. So guys, that's going to do it for this edition of Crisis in the Toyverse. A huge shout out to undercovercapes.com. Go listen to them on all podcast streaming apps. And last but not least, if you're on Instagram, head over to @ToyLoverCrew. Use the hashtag ToyLoverCrew to share your toy art and engage with other people who do toy photography and collect action figures. Stay tuned at the end for the slideshow. And until next time, great googly moogly.